Hello, everybody. Welcome into day one intro to how to tune a piano from the beginning. This is a boot camp, piano tuner success boot camp. So I'm going to wait for you guys to get in. For all you guys who have registered, if you'd like to, you can chat me right here in the thing. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, I know this is going to be streaming on YouTube. It's going to be streaming on Facebook, and then you'll be able to watch the replays. If you haven't registered for boot camp, if you haven't actually registered, then I have no idea who you are or how to connect with you. So all you got to do is go to apexpiano.com/bootcamp, or just go straight to the website, and you can just click on bootcamp and register. If you're confused about that, apexpiano.com/bootcamp. All right, so then you'll be in the bootcamp. And so this is a live stream. We are doing this live right now, and I'm going to be going through a lot of cool stuff today. What we're going to learn today is intro to basic tuning tools. We're going to learn intro to basic mutes, intro to tuning a unison. We're going to learn about posture, how to manipulate the strings. Hey, Corbin, what's up, my man? Welcome into the boot camp. What's an electronic tuning device, and how to practice tuning 3-string unisons, and how to use the ETD, which is the electronic tuning device, to train your ear. I'm glad you made it in, Corbin. Anybody else want to just say they're here? Just write, I'm here on Facebook or YouTube. And like I said, you'll have a replay of this as well. So that's what we're going to learn today. If you're new to this complete thing, I really watch this. Even those of you who are in the mentorship already, I'm going to be posting these videos because the videos I made for this session are really good for helping you with your posture up front. So I know some of you guys are struggling with posture, and posture is really important. So if you can get your posture right, you'll have a lot better chance of actually having success. So basically, I'm Eric Roberts. I'm the owner of Apex. I created this whole thing. I started my business back in 2007. I have a son, Augie, and a dog. You might hear him barking, and if he is, this is when he got his little surgery. He has a little thing on his arm. Oh, you talked to Joe and TJ? Oh man, dude, yeah. I'm glad you talked to those guys. Hey, Jay on YouTube, what's up? Jay Matthews and Corbin. So yeah, my son is homeschooled. My wife is a stay-at-home mom, and we are a single-income family, which is a miracle, really, in 2025. I don't know how I do it sometimes, but just keeping the bills paid through piano tuning is how I've been doing it. My lifestyle is because I found piano tuning. It's it. That's the reason. Had I not found this, I'd probably be working a job somewhere, just trying to, like a normal job. It's taken me, to some pretty cool places. I've tuned for Garth Brooks, piano player, Harry Connick Jr., John Legend when he was in Dayton, Jack's Mannequin. I've tuned for a bunch of different artists. Here in Nashville, I tuned for Reese Winans. He was the keys player for Stevie Ray Vaughan, and now he plays for another guy. So Rob Frazier from Petra, Tim Rosano for Toby Mac. I've tuned his piano. He actually lives in my neighborhood. And so some of these people are just like my regular clients. I go to their house and tune their piano. And other of these people, I work for them directly. Like for Jay Joyce, I work for him. He's a Grammy award-winning producer, does everybody. Little Big Town. He does you can just read about this guy. He's been named the most influential and hardest rockin' man in country music. And so I've tuned Eric Church, Zach Brown, all these guys come through his studio, and I do their session tuning. So I'm actually tuning for their recordings. I don't usually hang out with the artist. I rarely hang out with them. Now Lanco band, I've tuned for them, and I tuned for their personal home studio. So I've met all those guys. Those guys are cool. But this is all because of piano tuning. And back in, looks like 2017, I was featured in the Piano Technician's Journal alongside some of these guys you might know, Timothy Barnes from Gazelle, David Haynes from the Piano Technicians Academy. I don't even know if he had that back then. Some other people like that, but I was featured on a 4-part article. Hey, are there really enough pianos to tune and make a full-time living? Yes, the answer is yes. So watch this full webinar and you'll be able to tell that there are enough. And we're not going to talk a lot about business today, but this is the look that I get when I'm in public and I say I'm a piano tuner. People look at me like, what? Like, Is that a thing? Is that a real business? I think they think it's like a little toy hobby that I made that I play like with pianos in the back shop or something. I don't know. I don't know. People just look at me like it's not a real thing. And you will know it is a real thing. If you watch my interview with TJ, you know, his first year as a first year student made $52,000 tuning pianos. It's amazing. And that's on the YouTube channel. So we talked to TJ about that. So I mean, that's a great thing. And yeah, can you make a full-time living? Yeah, he almost doubled what he was making at his real job, his quote real job. So let's get into this, because today we're not going to talk a lot about business. Thursday and Friday, we're going to talk a ton about business and secrets and tips and tricks. So, but today we're going to be talking about the actual tuning, how to actually get some tools and get there. Okay. So what do you need to start? You can get a $50 tuning hammer package from Amazon. It's not the best set of tuning tools you'll ever have, but it is a set of tools that will get you going. So you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on tools. You can, but you don't have to. And you need TuneLab, AccuTuner, or there's this thing called a piano meter. I think this is what it's called, piano meter. I'm going to put that on here because lately I've been having my students get piano meter because it's easier to download than TuneLab. And it's like $50 for a year. Okay, so it's great. You can get an AccuTuner as well, and we're a dealer, so you can actually buy one right through our website. And that's what you'll need later. But to start out, you really need piano meter, which is like I think $35. You know, if you get like, let's just call it $55. I'm gonna call it 55. There's a restaurant around here called Highway 55. If piano meter is $55, this is $50. So about $100. You can have enough to actually start the program and to actually learn to tune. Okay, so I want you to stay to the end. I'll show you how fast success, and show you how to turn this into a very nice income and even a full-time business. So definitely stay to the end today, because we're going to learn how to do all of this stuff: posture, tuning pins, middle C, hammer movement, walking mute, tuning unisons, and finger testing. These are all really, really, really important. And we're going to start out with posture. Okay, so I'm going to be playing for you in this webinar. There's only they're 1 to 3 minute videos. Okay, so just hang in there, because I'm going to actually show you at my piano how I use my posture to sit at the piano. This is the first video we're going to watch. There's like 5 of them, 5 or 6 of them. They're 1 minute long to 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes long each. So we're going to go through the video, then we'll talk about it. We'll go through the next video, we'll talk about it. If you have any questions along the way, since this is a live boot camp, just pop in and ask the question. All right, here we go. This is the first one, really important, and it's about posture.
We don't find the perfect posture to have success. And so a lot of YouTube videos you'll see somebody sitting at a piano and they're tuning, they're hitting the note, and they're reaching way up like this over their head, and they're trying to pull or push the tuning hammer with their arm like this, or they're leaned in trying to reach above their head. And this will not give you a successful tuning experience. You will not become really proficient, and it will not be good on your back. So this is a medium tall piano. I'm going to be standing at this piano, and I want to put the tuning hammer on the pin at least at the 12 o'clock position or back towards the 10 or 11. So you never really want the tuning hammer at like 2 or 3 o'clock, and then you have to be leaning down and pushing up or pulling down on it like this. You want to try to keep your body straight with the piano. I like to keep my legs pressed against the piano, and I like to feel that I'm just leaning in. I'm standing to the right side of the tuning hammer. The tuning hammer is around 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock on the piano. So now I can reach in and I can use my body. If you can rock your body back and forth like this, you can use your body, or you can use your arm. You're going to be pulling straight in line with the tuning, with the pin block, or you're going to be pushing straight in line with the pin block. So you're pulling straight towards you, or you're pushing straight away from you. And this is a perfect posture for getting and setting good tuning pins. This will really make a big difference. If you have the wrong angle, if you're trying to push down like this, if you're sitting, if you're trying to pull this way, if you're trying to pull out towards you, all of these things will not give you a good result. So you're going to find that around 12 o'clock, get the tuning hammer on there around 12, or if you have to, if the pin is oriented to where it has to go one more over, you can put it this way is fine. That way when you pull, you're pulling straight this way, straight towards you, or pushing straight away from you. You can use as much of your body as you can. A good posture is really going to be important because there's 280 some strings that you're going to have to tune. And again, if you're tuning like this, you have poor leverage and poor posture, and it will never be easy to actually do this movement. If you're too tall or if the piano's a little shorter, widen your stance and use a strong body. You can go to the left, you can go to the right, you can lean in, you can push straight away from you, you can pull straight towards you. This is the mechanics of how we're going to do this. Okay, this is the first mechanics of the tuning hammer and standing. If you're at a grand piano, be a lot simpler because you'll just be simply sitting at the grand piano and you'll be taking your tuning hammer, placing it onto the pen, and it will be basically right in line with you like this. So you will have this tuning hammer right here. It'll go straight down on there and you'll be able to just go back and forth with your right hand. You'll be sitting straight at the piano. You'll be sitting at sort of a level where you have your use of your shoulders, like you're doing a bench press. That should be the feeling. And then you want the tuning hammer to go straight down, probably right about, if you're looking at a clock, it would probably be about the 3 o'clock, or, you know, there's 12 o'clock straight ahead of you. It's going to be at like 2 or 3 o'clock, and that's where you're going to live on the grand piano. It's going to be push straight out against you, away from you, or pull straight towards you. Push straight out, pull straight towards you.
All right, so that you can see that's very important. I hope you can always rewind and watch this back. This is very key. Like I said, YouTube videos, when you type in like how to tune a piano, and these people are sitting on the piano with their hands up there and all these weird angles, none of this is going to give you a stable tuning. None of this is a professional way to do it. And this is just the silliness basically of YouTube. Now there are great videos on YouTube. There's also silly videos on YouTube, obviously. So we're gonna dive right into this now. I think that was the longest video. So you got your body right, you've got the angle right, and this is, you know, because today if you get some tools, you can actually start doing some of this stuff. So we're gonna talk about the tuning pins, and if you see this picture right here, I kind of blew this up for you because when you look inside the piano, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of pins. Okay, there's a couple 300 pins in there. The middle pin reaches down to the middle string. The top pin is the left string and the bottom pin is the right string. You can see that very clearly on this drawing, okay? But when you get into the piano, it gets a little more, it gets a little harder to see. It's smaller. There's like hundreds of them, but there is a pattern to them. So once you learn the pattern, you will always be able to find the 3-string unison group has 3 strings, and it has pins just like this. Almost every piano, it's always going to be like this, and it's going to go all the way across. So watch this video, a minute and 20-second video about tuning pins and how to get your hammer on there and how to see what's going on when you're looking at them. It's the first part of just sort of getting a feel for looking in there. Don't
when
freak
you first
out.
approach
Just watch
the
this.
strings. It's going to be kind of confusing. You have all of these pins up top and all of these strings going down. We're going to isolate just one of these strings, and we're going to put our tuning hammer on the middle pin. So we're going to reach here in the middle. Let's pull this one right here. Put our tuning hammer around the 12 o'clock pointing. That's on the middle pin. So that middle pin of this note, if you follow your hand down, your finger down, you'll see it's the middle string of this string right here. That's the middle string of this 3-string unison. Now, if you go to the pin right underneath of it, it's the right string. So it's very important. You have the middle pin is the middle string. The lower pin is the right string. And the upper pin is going to be the left string. So you can see that's 3 strings right there. And it does really help you to look with your eye and point with your finger all the way down. Follow that string all the way up and see that's the right string, the middle string, left string. Now this will become a lot easier as you do this. It looks a little overwhelming, so I like to use my tuning hammer and follow right up like this and get on the middle, which will be the string that I'm going to tune.
All right, so yeah, you can see looking at a real piano how much different it can look. But just remember, you're looking for those three, and I use my tuning hammer and my finger just to point and all the way down, so you can even feel it. You can see it go right through there. Right now, we're going to be putting a mute on middle C. So we're going to be tuning middle C today, and we're going to be muting out. In this video, we're going to mute out the right and left string. So we're going to stick a mute. If this microphone was basically your middle string, we're going to stick a mute in this side and this side. So all you hear is the middle string. That's what this one's going to be. This is what your very first part of it is going to be. You're muting the middle
and I'm
C.
going to be taking my two mutes and I'm going to mute out the right and the left string. So it's pretty simple. You take your rubber mutes and you find your note by hitting the hammer, and you take your right string, mute it out. Take your other mute, come in from the other side. Now, all you hear now is the single middle string that is the middle C key. You have muted the right, you have muted the left, we have the single middle string.
All right, so that's basically the beginning. Now, this first part is we're going to talk about hammer movement of that middle string. So whenever we're starting to tune, you're going to be only tuning one single string. And that's where you want to stay. You're going to have your ETD, your electronic tuning device, either TuneLab, an AccuTuner, piano meter. Do not have a guitar tuner. Do not have just a cheap guitar tuner, because you can't use a guitar tuner to tune a piano, period. No matter what anybody says, it can't be done. I guess in some weird world, maybe somebody has done it or figured out a way to do it. It's not going to work to tune your piano to your guitar tuner. So go ahead and get at least a free piano app, because you're going to be using it, and mute out those two strings and watch this. This is very important of how little movement I'm doing. So this is just hammer movement. It's just going to be these very little tiny movements to see how much you move. Now, most beginners will start out by going like, they're like ripping it way high, pushing it way low. They're doing that thing. This is not the way you're going to do it. You have to find these small micro movements if you're going to be a good piano tuner, and that's what we're going to be learning and practicing. But I want you to see this right up front. So we're not yanking it all the way up like, I've trained people in real life and stood there and watched them just yank it back and forth really far. Like, you'll see. I think I show you a negative example on this video here. 1 minute. Here's how the hammer will be moving. We got
all right, so now I'm actually going to put my tuning hammer on that middle pen. I'm going to be hearing just the C note, and I'm going to be showing you how to manipulate just a single string using very simple hammer technique. Now, first of all, I am standing with my posture. I reach over and I grab the top of the tuning hammer, and this is about, you can see these little lights moving on the AccuTuner. This is about how much you want to pull the string up. You're always going to pull up above and then tap down into tune. Okay, so that's something you're always going to pull up, but you don't want to pull up a lot. Here would be a negative example of me just pulling it way far, and how some beginners do. They will go like this. They pull it way up there. You heard it go way up there. Okay, so I'm going to push it back down, and you'll hear them doing this too. Just all over, they'll be going, this is again, negative example of what not to do. Don't go. Just all over the place.
All right, yeah, that's all right. So you get the idea. You're not going. Okay, so you're probably thinking, okay, what do I do? All right, this is a slight jerking motion. It's very quick and very tight, very small motion, and it's going to take some time. But when I do it, it's very fast. It's very refined. Okay, so basically, you're just kind of giving a little yank, like that. That's all the motion is. You're trying to pull the pitch slightly above where it should be, and then we're going to notch it down into tune. So that's one technique that will not change, and most people teach that. It's the only way to do it, but there is no other way. You're going to pull it over, dink, and then pop it down into tune. Now, as a guitar player, I would always tune the guitar up. I would be turning the knob up. So this was extremely hard for me as a lifelong guitar player. I started tuning pianos like this is backwards. Like my whole ear, my whole life from grade school was trained to tune that pitch and take it up, 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 up until it was perfect. And I could do that all day and all night. It was like so good, right? So easy. But this is not the case on piano tuning. Okay, this is not the case at all. This is what it sounds like. So watch these little motions, and then we're going to get into like walking mutes, tuning unisons. So this is very, very quick, slight jerk motion to one side, and
Okay, I
then
want
you're
to
going to
give
tap
you
down in.
just a really
Listen to
deep
this.
insight to the angle of the tuning hammer and how you're pushing and pulling to actually be successful at tuning a single string. If I have this hammer to the right side like that, it's very, very hard to push from the bottom up that way. So you want to start with the hammer either at 12 o'clock or a little bit behind. That way when you do your first pull, it's a little above. Now as we're pushing, pushing that way and down that way. It's very simple. It can be exaggerated if the tuning hammer is like at 10 o'clock. You're pushing down that way and down, and that really settles the pin. It'll get more advanced as you get into the mentorship, but this is very important that you have a tuning hammer, an understanding of what's happening right here, and the angle that really matters. So the pen is turning to the left, and you're loosing it, and you're pushing that way, straight that way, and down a little bit that way. And this angle is perfect. It'll be a lot easier. You can even pull up from here. So pull up, and then you push down from here. You're just pushing down, and you see the light has settled down, and you've tuned a single string to a meter. That is one of the #1 skills you need to be a good.
All right, guys. So if you're watching that now, that is in the beginning of the mentorship. You're going to spend a good amount of time right there trying to stop the lights on an actual tuning device on the piano. And so when you go through the Apex mentorship, everything is kind of in chunks of small technique that's going to build up until you're like a master. Okay, so in the beginning, it is just getting hammer technique. Hammer technique is one of the most important things of tuning, and it's probably the hardest thing to master up front. And I think Apex does a brilliant job at getting you there, because once you learn how to manipulate the pen just on a single string, there's 300 strings on there, but the technique is similar on all of them. So learning that foundational technique is very important. So we've got our hammer movement. We've muted out middle C. We're going to talk about the walking mute. And, in standard piano tuning, I'll answer this. Do you recommend setting blows? I've heard it to be good to allow the tension to be spread through the string. So that's basically what you'd call like a listening blow and a test blow. And yes, you will get into a little bit of that in technique. So we're not going to be pounding on the piano, but you will do like a test blow or like one hard blow and a soft blow. So I'll go like ding, ding, ding. I'll hit it hard like maybe one time to make sure it's set. But in terms of manipulating the pen, everything that you've heard on the internet, everything you've ever heard basically about setting the pen and test blows and what you're saying, allow the tension to be spread throughout the string, all of this stuff is it's a lot of theory. And a lot of people will say you have to hit the piano really hard to tune the piano, like you have to pound it. You do not have to pound it. Once you learn how to manipulate the front string tension of the tuning pen, and I teach you about this in great detail in our first lessons, you will not have to blow on the piano a whole bunch. You won't have to hit really hard. You won't be pounding on it. You will use what we'd call like a hard blow. So you give it a little bang, a little whack that's harder than normal. So maybe like a fortissimo or a fortissimo, like a 2F, a double forte. You might hit it one time, a bang, like a sharp hit, and then a soft listening blow. So there's a little bit of a technique there that I didn't that I didn't show in that video. So you're gonna be able to manipulate the string and set that front string tension with a slight tweak and maybe a hard blow. So there's some things that happen at that last moment that are going to create stability in the front string tension. Okay, but I didn't talk about all those things in that video. But yeah, it isn't pounding the heck out of the piano, though. That's what it's not. Tuning stability doesn't come from pounding the heck out of the piano. And I'm going to show you how to be really stable, a really stable tuner. When you hit the piano tuning note and you hit the key and you manipulate your hammer, like with your perfection that you're going to learn, you will know it's going to stay there. It is going to stay there. It's not going to be about pounding it. It's going to be about sort of a mix of technique that you're going to learn. All right, let's look at this. The walking mute is what we're going to do. This is how we move up the piano. So let's just watch this. It's 3 minutes long. It's going to give you a little bit of insight on how we're putting the mutes in there and how we're going to walk along. I don't think that we need to worry too much, but you're going to see me tuning a middle string and then some side strings. Yeah, you do not have to. I met a lady in my early stages. My mentors did not pound the piano. This lady was pounding the heck out of the piano, and you're just not realistic to do that. It's kind of like the old guard would teach that, and I think people I think the industry is moving away from that, really, from everything I've seen in the last couple years. It's moving away from the idea that you just have to pound the heck out of the piano to get it to stay in tune. That's not even true, but it is the way that the old guard would teach, and it is sort of in a lot of piano tuners. If you watched TJ's thing we talked about, no, I'm sorry, it was Joe's thing that we talked about. Each piano will kind of speak to you. It will give you a sense. I think we talked about both of that. Both of us talked about that. The piano will kind of tell you how hard you have to hit it to get it to stay, because you're going to know if it stays, and you're going to be able to tell. Sort of, the piano is going to basically tell you, hey, you're going to have to hit it a little harder, or I'm not going to stay. All right, watch this walking mute. This is a technique.
All right, now we're going to talk about the walking mute. Now, the walking mute is the sequence of moving the mutes around to tune the next string. So let's say we've tuned our C and we think it's perfect. That's the center string of the C note is perfectly in tune. Now, the next step in this is going to be to tune the right string to the middle string. Now, you know that, so you're going to take out the right mute and you're going to move it to the next set of strings, the next 3-string unison. And when I do that, what happens is it opens up the right string. So now you hear the right and the middle. Okay, you're hearing both strings together, and if one of them's off, you're going to hear that weird noise, and we're going to tune that out in a minute. So you have the middle string, sounds pure and perfect, and the lights are stopped on my meter. You reach up, take your right mute out, move it over to the other set of strings so it's out of the way. So now you're listening to the right string beat against the center string, and that's where we will take our tuning hammer, move it down to the bottom pin, which is attached to the right string, and we will start to tune by ear, pull up, until they sound like one string. Now, amazingly, you're hearing both those strings, but they sound like one string. See, if I mute out the middle or the right, I hear the middle only. Now I hear the middle and the right, and they sound like one string. So then we're going to take that same walking mute. We're going to take our left, move it over, stick it in there so we mute out the right. So now we're just hearing the left and the middle. So now it's time to tune that left string. See, the left string's out of tune and it's beating against it. Okay, so now we're tuning that left string to the middle. So you're listening to the middle. You're going to pull back, over, make it over. So now it's sharp. And then you're going to nudge down until they sound like one string. Now, in the beginning, you're going to be very new at this, and it's going to be hard to tell. So that's why it's always good to use our eye to train our ear. So you can mute out the left string. You can see that middle string is nice. Now you can just take your finger, mute out that middle string too. Listen to just the left string and watch the meter and see if I've got it close. It's very close with a slight roll to the right. So am I there yet? My ear says I was pretty close, but the meter says, no, go a little more. So a little more pressure on that left string. Now I'm going to mute out that middle string again, just listening to the left, and look at the meter. Ah, that's much.
Okay, good. So I jumped into that, and I'm going to explain all that a little bit slower here. You watch me do all that, and you guys are like, oh my goodness, what just happened? That was a walking mute, and I'm tuning 3 strings. Basically, in the once you get your hammer technique down, you're going to be tuning the center string to the tuner. Okay, so this is tuning a 3-string unison. It's right here on the screen, so you can really read this and get an idea for it. You're going to tune the center string to the tuner. Okay, that you're going to lock in and make sure it's perfect. And then you're going to use that walking mute. You're going to take that mute out, move it over. You're going to tune the right string to the center. Okay, that's step number 2. You can all understand that. It feels like when I'm explaining this, your brain could just short circuit, like the left to the center, the right to the left to the center. It feels, that's why I'm going through it a little slower. So you just pull the right mute out, move it over. You're tuning the right string to the center. Now that's usually by ear. In ETD tuning, some people, if they're maybe not on the correct path of learning, or they're just figuring stuff out, they'll tune every single string to the tuner, like every single string on the piano, just right to the tuner. That's not necessarily how it's meant to be done. I guess it could be done that way, but that's not really the way that we do it for efficiency and speed and clarity. So you're going to tune the right string to the center by ear. You're going to learn how to tune that by ear, and it's going to become a pure unison, the center and right together. And once those are good, you're going to take your left mute out, move it over, like we did in the video. We're walking it over. Now the left string is open and the middle string is open. So that center string again is your reference, and your left string needs to be tuned to it. So you tune your left to the center. Does that make sense? So you tune the center, then you tune the right, then you tune the left, okay? You tune the center, you tune the right, tune the left, and you're walking up the piano. It'll all sound like one string. It all has to sound like one single string. I'm going to give you a couple tips and tricks right here. We're going to watch it again. We're going to actually watch we're going to watch another set of videos right here on me tuning 3 strings. You're going to get a lot more insight into exactly what I'm doing and how I'm using the meter and everything else like that. So let's watch this. And then I got a couple more videos. I'm going to show you how to do a finger test, which is really clear. This early part is really about learning how to hear when it's out of tune and when it's in tune. Out of tune, in tune, how to move the tuning hammer just slightly enough to get it to stay in tune. So all these things. But guys, look, when you can do this movement, when you can be good at this movement, you can tune a whole piano, because the AccuTuner will show you, the Tune Lab, the Tune Meter, it will show you exactly where to put the center strings. You don't have to guess. That's why we're going to talk about why Apex is different and why this is so quick to learn. That you'll see this. This is the skill that you're teaching yourself right here. The center string, tuning it to the tuner, and then boom, boom, knocking in the right and the left and moving on.
All right, let's put the whole process together. We're going to tune this middle C. I'm going to mute out with my 2 mutes, the right and the left, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right pen, follow my hammer up, and I'm going to tune C to stop the lights. It's a little flat right now. I'm going to pull it up and tune it perfectly to the lights. Notice I give just a little bit of a harder blow at the end. The lights are rolling a little to the left. You know, is that perfect enough? Probably good enough for now, but I'm going to do it again. I just want to pull it up. Just hit the note as I'm pushing down. And I get those lights to stop on that middle string. Now all I have to do is simply reach down and remove the right mute. I move it over to the other set of strings to get it out of the way. Now I'm listening to that middle string and that right string, okay? And so it sounds out of tune. Make sure I have a good angle on my tuning hammer. I'm going to pull back to get that above. Now I'm just going to tap it down. Till they sound like one string. Now, to train your ear with your eye using your tuning device, you simply reach in. You know the middle string is perfect to the device. You can mute out that middle string with your finger. So you just touch that middle string, and so just listen to the right string you just tuned and look at the meter. It's dead stopped, so my ear was really good on that one. If it's not dead stopped, it will show you you're a little flat, you're a little sharp. You can start over. If you're flat, you got to come pull up again and start over. Just a little yank. So now we got that down. The middle and the right sound like one. Sounds very good. You're going to remove the left mute. Okay, now you take the left mute, move it over to where it's muting out the right string. So now you are hearing the middle and the left. Okay? Take your tuning hammer, move it to the top pin. Make sure it's in a good orientation, so you don't want it over here at 3 o'clock, either at noon or 11. Now you're going to listen to this left string with the middle string. And you're going to hear this wah, ya, 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 ya. You can even mute that middle string and see that that left string is very flat. Those lights are going to the left really hard. So I'm going to tune that left string to the middle. I'm going to pull up just a little bit. You can hear when it's kind of where it needs to be. Now you can even check. So I pulled it sharp, and that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to start pushing down. Till it sounds like one string. Now, as you're using your ear and your eye together, your eye is really training your ear. You can reach down and touch that middle string, so all you're going to hear is that left string now, and look at the meter and see how close you are. Dead on. Now if you want to, you can keep going. You can go to the C sharp, and you have the middle string already open, and that's why the walking mute works. It's going to walk you all the way up the piano. But now you can take out all the mutes and listen to those 3 strings. This is a 3-string unison sounding like one single string.
All right, perfect. So you see you're tuning the center, tuning the right, tuning the left, walking your mute down. And I'm using my finger to do those checks. And this is pretty much one of these pro tips, and you're going to get this right here. You're going to see me do this in the mentorship a lot. I'm going to do this every time I tune a piano. Yeah, it is very satisfying to hear each one of those tunings, each one of those unisons come in. Actually, it's pretty dang satisfying, because when you're doing this for a living, or you're doing this for an hour at a time, it's pretty weirdly relaxing, and it's kind of chills you out. If you're like a hyper person, it'll chill you out a little bit. It'll give you a little, I mean, like, especially when you get to the end and the whole piano's in tune, it's weird because you've kind of taken a mess and put it right. So, yeah, you're right. It's pretty satisfying. So finger testing on these is really important, because in the beginning you can't really tell. If you hear 2 strings, and you'll be able to tell this as you're practicing, you'll hear these 2 strings and they'll be like almost in tune, but they're not really in tune. I don't know, you can't tell. If you use your finger testing like I'm showing you right here, you will be able to train your ear to show you exactly how far you're off. So you want to tune by ear, and then you want to use your finger test that I'm going to show you in this next video. This is our last little section of the video. You're gonna check the unison with your fingers, and you're gonna hear how far you're off, where you're off. It's the only real way I think that you can actually train yourself to be really good at this. If you use the ETD to train your ear, I mean, you have to use your eye to really show you, like, you might think it sounds good, but then when the meter goes, no, it's not quite there, then you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I can see that it's not quite there. Now I can hear what not quite there sounds like. What not quite there is, it's not an abstract thing of, is it sharp, is it flat, is it in tune, what am I hearing? The meter will show you exactly how far you are on or off. So this is very key to your training and becoming a really good piano tuner. Watch this.
You can use this trick, which is my best ear eye training trick. I always use this, and I'll show you up close. You can take your 2 fingers and you can mute the right and left string out just with the tip of your fingernails, so you just hear the middle string. Now you can lift up your left finger, and now you hear the left and the middle string. So you can hear just the middle alone. You can hear the middle left. Those sound pretty similar. You can do the same with the right finger. Play the middle string alone, lift up the right finger, put it down, lift it up. Now I use this trick all the time to train my ear because it's sometimes hard as a beginner to hear when they're in tune. But if you have one that's off, you'll hear the middle. So you have the middle, which is pure, and when you lift up that left finger, you'll hear there's something not right. Lift up the right finger. The right one sounds the same. Lift up the left. Oh, that's really bad. So then you can go to tune. This little finger trick will help your ear really be able to hear a unison. You hear the center string alone, and in quick succession, you hear both the right, the left, the middle and right.
All right, that's it. And that, my friend, I don't know what I was going to say. That, my friend, is the way to go. So that's it. So let's talk about all this. Remember this, you can always rewind this webinar. You can watch those. You probably should. But I want to talk just a little bit about why Apex is different. Why is this different? What am I showing you that's different? This is a completely different method than if you were to take a course online or watch somebody say, tune the piano by ear. They will set a temperament. They will like count thirds and beats, and they will make all this math up and all these listening things, and it will be extremely difficult. Now, this is how you would learn back, let's say in the 1950s, when before we had ETDs, or way back in the day, you would learn like this. And tuners have tuned pianos like this for 100 years. But now we have these tools that make it extremely accurate, extremely fast, extremely a tight process to learn to tune a piano. And that means that you can go to your clients and you can give them a solid dead-on tuning, in that first year of you being a piano tuner. Unfortunately, when you're learning to tune by ear, which we would call the oral method, it will take you years and years and years. I mean, it takes a long time. And even then, even once you get down to, I can tune a piano by ear, it could still be that you're not as good as somebody that's using a actual modern electronic tuning device. The old school oral method takes years to master. The TuneLab app is $300, or you can get a free trial. You can even get the other app, which is actually $35. It's just like tuning a guitar with more strings, and you're following the lights. Okay, that's why. With Apex, you can start your business within 3 months or so. You can learn how to tune a tight unison. You can learn the theory of tension and stretching on a piano. You can learn the difference between tension and tuning, all the things that I'm showing you that are very extremely important to understand in learning piano. And then you can actually start making money. If you're learning through oral methods with no feedback from electronic devices, it's going to be extremely difficult. I don't know how people even do it. I don't even know. I know that there are people who tune by ear, and that's the only method they use. And I do know that if after a long amount of time, that you could probably be good at that, and it probably feels like, I can do a piano tuning by ear. But honestly, why? I mean, if you think about this, the PTG RPT test is done, by oral tuning, but you can use an ETD on part of the testing, and the testing is graded with an ETD. So they're actually saying, your most perfect tuning is going to be graded against this machine, which gives us a perfect tuning. Now, I can carry this machine into anybody's house all day, all night, any day of the year, tune a piano, and they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And I can do it within an hour, 45, 55 minutes, depending on the piano and depending on how, focused I am. And I don't have to make any guesses, okay? All right, TJ, man, we'll see you, man. If anybody needs TJ, you can call him up. Um, Here's the thing. When you're doing oral tuning methods, and it can just take forever, and it can be less precise. I'm not saying that nobody can tune a piano orally, but I'm saying why? Why? Why would you? And actually, I was watching a piano tuner. He was teaching oral tuning, and he said, why do we do piano tuning by ear?" And he said, "Because it's fun." Well, that's fine, and if you want to do it, that's fine. In fact, with the 2025 Apex method, we are releasing a course in the next couple weeks. It's an RPT oral testing course. It's going to be amazing. And so you're going to be able to learn those oral methods just like you would want to learn them. But to really get serious to start your business, guys, the way that TJ was able to make 50 grand his first year, it wasn't by oral tuning. It was by using the Apex method. That's why it's different. That's why I think it's the best method to learn. In fact, I'll give you one more little thing here. Back in like the 2000s, there's an article on the internet. The PTG had like a tune off where they had an oral tuner tune a piano and a guy tune it with an ETD, and it was a blind test. It was like both Yamaha C3s or something, and they tuned them, and then all through the weekend, all these hundreds or thousands of piano tuners that were at the convention, however many it was, like so probably hundreds, probably like 500. They went in and they graded it, and they voted on the one that sounded the best. And we're talking about concert level oral tuners of the highest degree. They're probably the testers that were doing this. They're probably like the highest level guys who tune by ear all the time. And in this article that's in the PTG magazine, that it's called the Great Tune Off or whatever. It's funny because I found the guy's video on YouTube. He was talking about it. That the blind voting, the oral tuner won out by a bunch. It wasn't like, like 50-50. It was like 30-70. It was like 25-75. These tuners went and graded it and said, yeah, this is better. And that's the same thing. My mentor, Jack, he was an oral tuner for 25 years. Or like 20 years or so of his career, and he did all the old school checks, and he's doing all this stuff. And then Tim goes into the store. His tuning guy, another guy that's tuning for the store, comes in and he's tuning. He's an airplane mechanic, he's not even a full-time tuner. He's using an AccuTuner. And then Jack goes and listens to his tunings, and he's like, man, like Jack was a full-time oral tuner, best, the guy. He was like the main guy. He had like 5,000-6,000 clients tuning by ear. And he started listening to Tim's tunings, and he goes, you know what? These sound better than mine. Like, he goes to Tim and he's like, Tim, what are you doing? What do you, and Tim's like, oh, well, hey, Jack, I got this thing. It's called the AccuTuner. And that's it. Jack bought an AccuTuner, and he was just like a proponent from then on. So I'm teaching you how to use the AccuTuner or the TuneLab, whatever. The AccuTuner is, I think, the best device, but like any of these electronic tuning devices that are very calibrated and very good can tune a piano. A lot of guys use TuneLab, but you'll show that the ETD is an effective method, and that using the AccuTuner or something similar to it is going to give you razor sharp. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to try to struggle to learn this oral tuning and just spin your wheels trying to build your company on this method when guys can walk in with an AccuTuner 45 minutes later, bam, have a razor sharp tuning. Their technique is there. The AccuTuner is always solid. It always shows you where you're off. It's always there giving you feedback. And that's why Apex is so much different. There's no other course online. There's no other course available out there who really focus on this. I think every other course that's available at this time is an oral method tuning course. Okay, so yes, Apex is the only one that I've found that does ETD method. It's the focus. It's the foundational block of teaching you to tune. And beyond that, we're releasing this year, 2025, in the next couple weeks, an oral tuning course to help you pass your RPT test. Our students pass the RPT test pretty easily because they follow this method that Joe created. One of our alumni created this course. It's coming out. It's going to be fantastic. If you want to follow that oral tuning thing, you can do it. So that's exactly why it's different. That's why, if you're kind of thinking like, what is, I get that question a lot. What's different? Why should I choose Apex? Well, you want to start your business fast. You want to be able to make money quick. You want to use the most modern tuning techniques available on the market, the techniques that everybody's using. Then Apex is the way. Most of these guys will learn oral tuning, spend years and years struggling, and they're trying to get their business going. They're trying to do all this stuff. And then someday they'll get an AccuTuner and they'll be tuning tuning with an AccuTuner anyway. Like I said, the funniest thing about this whole situation, and I've always said this for a decade, I've been saying this, even longer. They're basically testing you by ear using an AccuTuner. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Make sense of that. They're testing you in the RPT test by ear. They're testing your ear tuning against an AccuTuner. Okay, that's all I have to say. The AccuTuner is a standard for perfection on tuning pianos, and in the very beginning when the AccuTuner was created, Sanderson, the guy told him, all the piano tuners, poo-pooed him. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't get the stretch, the math. It's got to be by ear. And he said, watch me. He was a Harvard mathematician. He was like a really high level guy. And he said, watch me do it. And he did it. So he changed the world. And that's what Apex is about. We're about giving you guys the easiest way to do it, the quickest way to start. You've got to be able to do it quick to make money. I mean, yes, I think piano tuning is fun. It's great, it's rewarding, but I'm not tuning pianos for fun. I ride motorcycles for fun. I do leather like crafting for fun. I make music for fun. I play my guitar for fun. I rock out in my band or whatever. I do recording for fun. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do. And tuning a piano can be fun too, but when I have to tune 3 or 4 a day, I'm not thinking like, woohoo, this is the funnest thing I've ever done. I got to go have fun. No, I'm going to work. I'm employing the highest level skill that I can with the best tools that I can to do the job to make sure that my client's getting a good tuning. And that's why Apex is highly rated. That's why people call me back. That's why in the studios around town, people say, hey, can you please get this guy to come in and do this because he knows how to do this right. There is a difference in this industry, and the musicians around town will know, yeah, that guy can tune a piano, he's good, or that guy's not very good. You don't have a lot of reputation if you are tuning pianos orally and always doing them different and just getting different results. So when you join Apex, and we're going to talk more about this in the boot camp. This isn't a big sales pitch, but you will be in a thriving online community on Bolster. It is a place where we talk, we hang out every day. You can get an app on your phone so that you can just open it up and message me. Piano tuning is an epic trade. Why? Because it's a high skilled trade that almost nobody knows how to do. You don't know how many times I'm on the phone with you guys, and you're telling me, hey, there's no piano tuners in Southwest Virginia or whatever, southern part of West Virginia. That's what I talked to somebody yesterday. They said there's no piano tuners down here. There's like one guy, and he charges extra amount of money because he's like 2 hours away. So it's true. It's very true. So you can start your journey, and the way you have to do it, like guys, right now, all you have to do is apply. You have to talk to me. You have to apply and talk to me, not just text me a thing like, hey, how much does this cost? I'm not talking about that. I want to see what your goals are. I want to talk to you and see if this is the right program for you. And then, I'll invite you into the program. I'll send you checkout links. We have really easy payment plans now. It's super affordable. It's a game-changing, life-changing mentorship. And that's what you're going to see as this year unfolds, as I'm sharing more stories from some of our students. But if you need help getting started, you can text me. You can email me right here. You can text me. But what the most important thing for you to do is to apply at apexpiano.com/join. If you're in the boot camp this week and you want to do this and you haven't applied yet, then you have to apply. You have to share a little bit of yourself with me. Tell me what your goals are. Tell me what you want to do. And then you can actually apply. What is Bolster? So Bolster is an online community app. Okay, I'll go to it right now so you guys can see it. Bolster is an app that we use. It is a Mighty Network. It's built on a Mighty Network platform. It's very similar to Facebook, but as you can see here, if you go over here to Apex Piano Mentorship, you're going to see this like a feed from all of our members. Okay, so basically, you can read what people are writing about. I haven't read these are new today. I haven't read some of these are impossible. So there's students and there's alumni in here talking about soundboards. So this is just a listing of everybody talking. and sharing their business stuff. Inside Bolster, all the courses that we have in the mentorship are now inside Bolster this year. So if you want to learn the Rapid Voicer course, you would go right here, and you can see it's a course platform, so you can actually open up and watch the videos for the lessons in here. So my computer's moving a little slow. It's having a hard time pulling that. There's the video. So it'll show you, you can watch the videos for the courses in here, and you can go to the field repair collection. You can basically see what's going on. Also, you can message me, so everybody can message me and each other through the chat system here. And then you can basically go into the full out mentorship page. It's just navigating this. There's a resource hub right here, so you can basically watch all the past webinars. So when you ask me a question, when you're in the mentorship and you ask me a question, if it's something that I can solve for you and other people, I'll usually make an actual video, and I'll pop it up into the resource hub, send you a link, or I'll put it on YouTube even. But you have Google Drive access, condition reports. You have basically everything that you need is in Bolster now. There is a course platform on Apex Piano, so you can go through the courses over there. But this year, we're kind of migrating everything. Bolster's about 2 years old now. It's our own website. It's our own platform. It's built on Mighty Networks. It's built with an app. It has a mobile app, and it's Bolster is my company. It's basically it's for skilled and creative trades. So you can there are some other lessons on here. I have a bunch of different lessons if you're in other programs with me. Like I have a music program that teaches how to play music and church music, worship, guitar, piano, drums. We have different programs on there, but it's basically a platform for courses. But the best thing for you guys in the Apex Piano thing is like the Apex Business Bootcamp. You can just go through here, and you can we just share, like when you're building your website, when I have templates for the websites, the maps. You can learn how to get reviews on Google ad examples. I share all my Google ad examples with you guys, how to claim your business listing. So when we go through the boot camp for the Business Boost and the Catalyst Marketing course, all that's done through videos, but the Bolster is sort of like the social platform. All right, so Bolster is important because it's where we're kind of connecting and hanging out. So I'll give you a few more minutes here if you guys have any other questions about today. So if you have not applied and you want to talk about, your actual future, your actual if you want to talk about your service area, like, hey, I live in New York, how would it look like? I'll do a little market research with you on a Zoom call, and we'll actually go through and talk about your goals. Some people say, well, I want to make $100,000 a year, and I just want to be full time, in a year. And I go, okay, well, this is how you would probably achieve that. None of this is guaranteed, but I can tell you. I will be honest with you. I know somebody told me the other day they wanted to make like 180,000 in their first year. I said, this is a kind of an unrealistic idea, but how you would get there would be this way, So you got to be realistic about how much you can work, how much you can tune, what's the days, what are your upsells, how are you building your business, and all of that we're going to talk about. We have 2 more sessions in the thing, and in fact, all of you guys. Talking about Bolster, all of you guys should be in Bolster already. You can activate the boot camp in Bolster. So Piano Success Boot Camp is right here, and it shows that we're live. But basically, you can go to this feed and you can actually test it out and talk to me here, right in Bolster. So before you would join the entire mentorship, you can activate the boot camp in Bolster, which gives you access to a lot of the people who are in here, a lot of the members, some of the old, some of the alumni are in here. And so you can actually just send messages to these people and talk to them. So if you don't know how to do that, just check your email and click on activate. When you go to the live bootcamp page, it'll show you how to activate. All you got to do is click that link and sign up for Bolster. It's actually something you can do right on the live page. So if you're at bootcamp live, you can see, you can click on there to activate Bolster. So I want you guys to activate it anyway, so we can start having a chat conversation. Let's see here. Where are we? I'm still there. All right. Yeah, I talked to you on Bolster. I talked to some of you on Bolster already. So it's just, you're getting a very limited view at this point of Bolster. You can't see any of the courses. You can't see the Apex mentorship feed where everybody's talking every day. So you're just seeing, communication about Bootcamp. There's a whole nother room that you'll be led into. If you join the mentorship, you'll be led into that member room. And I protect that because it's everybody in there is paying mentorship members who are building their company. It's not just a place to get to know, like, hey, should I do this? So you're in a room right now with just me and a few people. That's just about the special success boot camp. Now, the next session that we're going to be doing, so don't miss it. And I'll show you guys real quick before I jump off here. The next session we're doing on the boot camp will be on Wednesday. I think it's was today Wednesday. No, Thursday. I'm sorry, it'll be on Thursday. And it's going to be called The Business of Piano Tuning, an inside look. So we're going to look inside my business, my actual business, talk about realistically what kind of money you can make, how you make money, how you use upselling to make more money. And then on Friday, we're going to learn the tools and tricks of the trade. So piano tuning secrets. I'm just going to give you guys, it's sort of like an overview of just different things that help you make more money, help you get started quicker, how I have been able to, in my first 5 years, I doubled my business every year. Those are some of the things that I'm going to teach you because they're really the things, those tools and tricks are things that will make you successful. Like, how do you get a regulation job that pays $1,075? How do you do that? How do you upsell people these nice big repair jobs or these $1,000 or $2,000 regulation jobs? Those are kind of the things that you're going to learn in that tips and tricks thing. So if you don't have any other questions, you could always comment to this video, watch the replay on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube this week. And thanks for sticking around, guys. It's been great. If you need me, text me. My number is at the bottom of all my emails. It's also right here. If you want to just text me, this is my personal cell phone. You can just pop in and you can just say, hey, what's up? I need help with this. If you have not applied yet, then definitely, if you want to be in the mentorship over the long period of the time you think you do, make your application, and it puts you in a different line of communication with me, because we'll talk about your city, we'll talk about your goals, we'll talk about the investment that it takes to get in, we'll talk about tools that you need, and we can do all that through Zoom or by phone call. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been fantastic. I hope you guys have a great week. I am so glad that I'm not sick anymore. I was sick for all over Christmas. I'm better. Went to Krav Maga today. This was Nashville Krav Maga. And man, that kind of kicked my butt, to be honest with you. Somebody kicked me in the shin today. And that kind of hurt. And it's like I started getting back into feeling the pain, of doing that workout. But it's exciting. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.